Hi, my name is Laura. I'm from a small town in eastern Iowa, and today I'm going to work on processing some squash that I grew in my garden. I've got honey nut squash and white scallop squash that I'm going to be tackling today. First, I need to give it all a wash. I do have some more of the honey nut squash down in the garden growing, but my white scallop squash is done for the year. So I'm just going to start off by peeling everything really well, and then I will give it all a good chop. These were absolutely gorgeous on the inside, and I could have saved the seed to either roast or to grow for next year because these were heirloom seeds that I purchased. But in this case, I do have a ton of seeds left. I'm not really wanting to roast and do a whole nother project, so I'm just going to give them to my chickens, and they will thoroughly enjoy it, and also beneficial for them as well. I'll probably throw them the peels as well, and then can peck through those also. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these peeled and cut in half and de-seeded. So now I'm working on this white scallop squash, and this one I could not get my peeler to go through. I couldn't get my cleaver to go through. I gave it to my husband and he practically had to take an axe to it. So this one was a no thank you, and because he was able to get it cut in half, I gave it to the chickens and they could peck it, from the inside out. But these other two were fine. They were beautiful inside. They had a good texture. The texture was similar to, I would say, like a zucchini. And so I'm going to go ahead and get these two peeled, and I'll cut them in half and show you what the inside looks like. So here we are. Here's the inside. They look like a normal squash. I don't know if I'd grow this again. I think if I did, I would purposely grow it to cut in half and bake fresh and like scoop it out, maybe the flesh. I don't know. They were not fun to peel because of the scalloped edges and stuff. So I got those cut into strips. I'm going to go ahead and cube the white scallop squash and throw it all on one tray. I am going to freeze dry this. You could just do what I'm doing, but just freeze it and then bag it. But I need to get through one of our 3 freezers and really go through it. We have deer season coming up, and all that entails. So I don't want to fill my freezer, and I have my freeze dryer, and let's just put it to work. So cubing my white scallop squash, and then I will move on to my beautiful honey nut. So for my honey nut, as you can see right here, I am taking it and I'm just going to slice it. Then when I rehydrate it, and if I want to do cubes, I can just do cubes then, or if I want to keep it slices, I feel like it just is going to make it a little bit more versatile when I go to use it after I rehydrate it. So I'm just going to sit here and slice it all up, and we'll get it spread out amongst the other 4 trays. I have a medium freeze dryer, so I have a total of 5 trays. So I'll go ahead and pop this in my machine and turn it on. This took about 20 hours. I didn't get to it right away, so it entered into its extra freeze dry time. All right, it's the next day. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. They look great. I'm happy that the honey nut squash retained its orange. If you don't know, sometimes when you do carrots, the orange color of the carrots just disappears. So let's get this out. I'm going to package these in half-gallon mason jars because I do plan on using these relatively quickly over the winter pantry challenge kind of time. Now I'm showing you here, this is nice and dry and crispy. Just wait till the end and I'll show you that white scallop squash again. So I have decided I'm going to do kind of like the half round larger pieces of honey nut squash in one jar and the smaller like slices or slivers in a separate jar. It'll be easier to reconstitute them, and I think I'll probably use them in different ways. I have found that if you give the jar a good shake, everything kind of settles and fits in a little bit more, a little nicer. Then I've got my jar vacuum sealer, throw that on there and have it create a good seal for me. This is the only project I was able to do this week. I had to go out of town one whole day, and then my monster 4-year-old preschool, you know, they bring home every bug possible. This is the second one so far this school year, so we've been dealing with that. So I just haven't had time, and this was an easy one that I knew I could accomplish, so I am absolutely happy with that. My peppers are booming down in the garden though, and normally our garden's up by now, but we'll get to those. So here we go. So I'm getting ready to package my white scallop squash, and I pick it up and I notice it's spongy. Look at that. So that needs more time in the freeze dryer. I think what happened was when I pulled this out, my bottom of my tray was cold, and it still is to the touch here. So this tray was on the bottom, and when you have your ice ring, the ice ring sometimes will almost touch the bottom tray. So I think that's what happened. No problem. I'm gonna throw those back in, and I'll throw them in a jar when they come out. So here we go. I do put a ring on my jars just in case that vacuum seal breaks. Just helps protect them a little bit more. So I'll show you what I got here. I think they're gorgeous. I'm really excited. And we also have a few out left in the garden that we can eat fresh. I don't have a cellar. I have a really creepy part of the basement I don't go to, but even there it's too moist. It just wouldn't work. So yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for joining. Have a good week.